Okay, in this one we're going to discuss how to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. So as you see on the page, we have an improper fraction. Just a reminder, an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. So improper fractions are one whole or more. Okay, so as you see, we have 9 over 2. Or you could also call it 9 halves. Anytime your denominator is 2, you are dealing with halves. So I want to teach you two strategies that can help you turn this improper fraction into a mixed number that has a whole number and a proper fraction. Okay? So, first of all, any fraction is essentially a division problem. We've discussed this in class, but I'll remind you here as well. If you take your regular division symbol, you can think of that as a fraction bar, and the two dots is just the numerator and the denominator. Just to help you remember that when you are working with fractions, you are working with division at the same time. So you always divide down. So you start at the numerator and you divide the denominator. So 9 halves says 9 divided by 2. So we're going to go over here and we are just going to work that out like a division problem. Okay? So 2 goes into 9. 2, 4, 6, 8 goes in 4 times. We multiply. 2 times 4 gives us 8. And we would have a remainder of 1. So you might be asking, how do we turn this into a mixed number? Well, 2 went into 9 4 whole times. 4 whole groups of 2 went into 9. So your whole number is 4. Just like when we convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, we keep our denominator. So our denominator is 2. So for my fraction part, I'm going to have 2 as the denominator. Last but not least, how many do we have left over? What was our remainder? Our remainder was 1. So whatever our remainder is turns into our numerator. So 9 halves is the same as saying you have 4 and 1 half. Okay, so that's one strategy. You can use division. Another strategy is not to draw, you can draw a model like last time, but I'm going to show you an even different strategy for this one. So again, we have 9 halves, and I'm going to rewrite it. So 9 halves. What we can do next is we can break the fraction down. Okay, another word is we can decompose the fraction. So we're dealing with halves. The denominator tells you the size of the pieces. That tells me that my whole, or wholes, because I have more, I have 4 wholes and 1 half, they are broken into 2 pieces. Your denominator always tells you the piece size. But my numerator tells me how many of those pieces I have. So my halves, that's the size, but I have 9 of them. So I have 9 total halves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write them out into their unit fraction form. Now think of each half as its own unit. So what I mean is this. There's 1 half. There's another 1 half or 2 halves. 3 halves. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I have 9 of them. So this is the improper fraction, 9 halves. This is that same improper fraction broken down into each individual half. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 halves. And now we can just group them because, again, we know that two pieces make a whole. So 2 halves, or 2 over 2, makes a whole. So every time I see 2 of them, I will group them as a whole. So there's 1 half, 2 halves, or 1 whole. So I will group those. 1 half, 2 halves. There's another whole. 1 half, 2 halves. There's another whole. 1 half, 2 halves. There's another whole. And finally, I'm left with that 1 half, and I don't have enough to make another whole. So I'm ready to make my mixed number. So I got 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4 wholes. So there's my whole number. And then I had 1 half left. So I will place it right there. And as you can see, that is the exact same answer that we got, because it's just 2 different ways to get the same answer. And we say it all the time in class. That's the amazing part about math, is that there's so many different ways to get the right answer. It's kind of like thinking, okay, well, I can take this road, road A, road B, road C, but you can get to the same destination. Some of them are quicker, some of them are longer, but they are all good strategies. Okay, so again, I hope this video helps, and good luck changing improper fractions to mixed numbers.